Oh, we got Pop on the excavator back here. He's been messing all day. Here's the wheat. That's some tall wheat too. It looks real good. Back here playing all day. We'll go check some more corn out. I just got done chisel plowing across town. So now I'll go look at some corn. I see there's some water laying on a little part of the field. Might as well go down here with the shovel and get it up. Get it up. Oh, I don't like that. For some reason the corn didn't come up right there. I mean, it's still young if you can look. Here, hold on. This corn right here, she's coming. I'm sure you can see her down the rows. It's not all up, you can see it all. Coming up pretty good. There's some spots where you can see some little teeny corn where the ground's cracked and it's trying to come out of the ground, the rest of it. That's the only thing bad about putting corn in and then getting rain after it and then it getting hot, because it seems like the ground turns the freaking. So here's an example right here. You can see it spread out, but if you look, you can see the little, still got some trying to get poked out. There's one. Right there, and then some of them are coming up starting to unwind. So it's just, some of it's just trying to get out of harder ground. It's cracking, the ground's cracking, so I got most of it up, and then seems like the hard spots are starting to, you know, the new corn is still poking through. So I don't think I've zoomed up too much, but it's coming up pretty good down the rows. Like right here is a wet spot. Some of the wet spots, it always takes, you can see the dark all the way down this road we got that separates the farm. There's still a little bit of water. I walked over here yesterday or the day before that when we had a big rain and dug it all out, but I guess I didn't dig it far enough out in the field because there's still a little teeny bit that's got to come. And I don't like that. My brother was supposed to put trenches in. He did on some farms, but this farm right here, you need about 2 trenches on it, on this one field. And we never got around to doing it. So I'm gonna ride on over here. I dug it out the other day. I'm gonna ride over here. I guess I didn't go far enough out in the field because a lot of it drained, but further out in the field, there's a little teeny bit left here by this pond right here, as you can see. Look, there's a goose with her. There's a family right there with the little ones. Let's see if I can get zoomed in on it. See the little ones walking with them. So I'm gonna come over here and dig all this out. I'll probably walk over here. I'll be in a second. Growing. Dug it into the pond. That's into it deep enough, so we're going to take care of that. So here's a perfect example why you always spray on an angle, because this field I guess I didn't. And as you can see, I sprayed down. Let's figure it sprayed down here. I went on an angle, but not quite an angle. And see how this row and this row is growing, but this whole row right here, you get back here, you can see some corn growing. But all right here, it's not up yet. Now it'll come up, but that's what compaction does. And that's why I try, if I spray, 9 times out of 10 when I spray across like this. I spray on an angle. Everything I do when I plant, other than burn down when there's nothing in the field, then I'll go straight. But as you can see, that's what compaction does, and that's why 9 times out of 10 I spray on an angle. Now I don't know why I sprayed this field straight, but that's why I don't spray straight. That's why you should never spray straight after you plant. I see a lot of people do it and they say it's not a big deal, but that shows you right there that it is a big deal. Because even though that corn's gonna come up, it's coming up a week later and it's gonna be stunted. It might catch up, I'm sure it will, but you're not gonna get the yield out of it like you will the other rows. And you say, well, one row isn't a big deal, but that is, because, you know, I always thought stuff wasn't a big deal until you get these computers and it shows you your actual yield, and as you're running across field, and you know, you can be in 200 bushel corn easy, and then you get little spots like that, or sandhill can drop your yield down to 160, 170 on final total yield on that field. And little things like that is what makes the difference in how that field does. It's either going to do good or it's going to do bad. You think you're doing 200 bushel corn and it might look like 200 bushel corn, and just little teeny things like that is what causes the problems for yield loss. Now that corn's going to come up and it might not affect your yield at all, and I'm sure it's out there coming up. I just can't see it at the distance I'm at, but I'm sure it's coming through the ground already. But that's why I always spray on an angle, so you're taking out just a little piece of each row, and each row maybe has, you know, a tire width of compaction as you're going across, instead of a whole entire row doing that. Because then if it doesn't come up, you got 60 inches and then weeds come, versus 30 inches and it'll shade once it gets tall enough. Now I'm sure once we get a little rain shower today like they're calling for, you know, the ground seems like it's a little bit harder right now, where we hadn't had rain in a couple days. It rained and it seems like it gets the ground hard once the sun hits it. But once we get that rain, it'll soften up, and I'm sure that stuff will poke right through. But I just wanted to show you how I think you have yield loss, in my opinion. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of smarter farmers out there that think it doesn't, but I think it does. So, gotta spray some wheat today. Here's some wheat that I have sprayed. Let me turn the camera around. Here's some wheat that I have sprayed, and the heads have come up nice on it. And then here's some wheat that I haven't sprayed, and the heads, you can't see them, they're barely starting to poke out. But that's the difference, and I should have just sprayed everything in one day, but we didn't. And you can see, look, you can see the wheat I sprayed and the wheat that I didn't spray. It's all the same field. This right here is our runway where the airplanes land. It's all the same field. It's just stuff that I put fungicide and some green herbicide on there. So I'm gonna spray the rest of it today, and then that wheat should jump. My dad wants to kill some of it because they don't think some of it's gonna make, but I think it will once we get it sprayed. Got about 120 acres left to spray, I think, if that. I can knock that out in an hour probably, if that. Chloron is what we're spraying on it from Helena, so it seems like it's done pretty good so far. Get that done, then they're calling for rain night. They're calling for cold temperatures. I know up north they're supposed to get like 28 degrees, but down here I think the coldest they're supposed to get is 41, 38, 41 in the mornings. Let's hope we don't have any frost with all the corn up. There is quite a few people now that are starting to plant. last couple days around here. So get up here and get the sprayer out and get everything rolling, and I'll see y'all later. I'm trying to video Ben planting. Put them on YouTube. And then look, here's what old people do. They just sit around and watch us young people work. We got Mr. Ben Carmine getting ready to start planting. And Mr. Little John William on there. Just come and filled her up. Let's get out and look at some of this wheat here. Looks really, really good. I hate walking out in it because then I knock some of it over. But you figure, stuff's thick too. Here, I'll give you an idea how tall it is. So it's right here on me. So that's pretty, I mean, it looks good too. Real good looking wheat. Good heads on there. Good looking heads. Thick, full. Looks good, real good. It's still got another month and a half to go. So it's just one field. Pretty much it all looks like this. Now I got some over here that hadn't, the heads are starting to come out. I'll go to the other field and show you. Here's some of the last wheat we have planted. And it's thick as hell, but as you can see, this was late. It's got the heads coming out, but it just ain't, it didn't do nowhere near as good as the earlier stuff we planted. But it's coming now. All right, this is this field right here, this whole big field. There's the other stuff I showed you over there, but this whole, let me turn the camera around. This whole field right here, I mean, it's above my waist. Like I said, it was the last field we planted. It's got some heads coming in, but this field, let's see, it's this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 fields that I haven't planted yet, and our crop guy was going to come out today or tomorrow and look at it and see what he thought, if we should spray it or just burn it down and no-till right into it. But I mean, it's got several heads coming, but after I sprayed the fungicide on everything else and chloron, it really turned on and you know, made everything pop good. So I think it'd be good. I mean, you can see how tall it is compared to the pickup. So it's thick as hell too. So it'd be good for cutting wheat and getting the wheat straw off of it. So there ain't no sense in us, there's no sense in us not just spraying it and go ahead and make it harvest wheat. So that's the plan, I think. I think it'd be stupid to get rid of it. I think it'll turn out halfway decent, if not for the wheat, but for the straw, because like I say, it's thick. And it's got heads all on there. The more you ride, you get in the better part of the field, the better it actually looks, honestly. So I think it'll turn out all right.